I'm Ella, and today we're here with Ange, who is an early childhood teacher. So, Ange, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Perfect. So, as an early childhood teacher, what has been your experiences with supporting neurodivergent children?
Well, I've been teaching for over 23 years, and in that time I've taught a number of children who would have displayed behaviours as neurodivergent, and currently we're seeing more and more children coming through my service that I work at that are needing learning support.
Cool. What is the environment surrounding neurodiversity in your place of teaching? What is or isn't implemented to help support neurodivergent students?
Yeah, the environments in early childhood are very different. Some are very large services that cater for, up to 150 children in split age group rooms. And these are busy, noisy, and often a very open plan. And it's hard, I think, for those children that who are neurodivergent or very sensory. It's really hard for them to manage that environment. Also, in early childhood, because of the large group sizes and the ratios of teacher to children, which are not ideal, and is something that the sector has been campaigning for a very long time on to increase their ratios. This makes it really difficult for teachers to give the support that is required, and a lot of these children are needing one-on-one, and they are needing lots of support, and oftentimes the teachers are unable to give them what they really need.
Going off that, what teaching strategies have you personally found effective for supporting neurodiverse learners?
Well, the first thing is about building relationships with the neurodivergent children, or ultimately key that you are working with. You need to be able to have a connection with them. So that requires time and to build trust with children, and for them to see you as a safe person. And lots of the strategies that we use are what we would do with all children, but for children who are neurodiverse or finding being in our environments challenging, is we use lots of communication strategies, because a lot of the challenges that children have is actually to communicate how they are feeling, what they need. And so we use things like lots of modelling of language, visual aids. We use a lot of NZSL as well, New Zealand Sign Language. So there's a range of different communication strategies that we use. And a lot of it too is creating an environment that is supportive to their learning and what they need. So a lot of children in our age group, under 5s, are often still very sensory in their learning. So it's all about the environment, the resources that we have available, and really knowing the children well, and providing as best we can an environment where they are able to thrive.
So as an early childhood teacher, in your experience with neurodivergent students, how do referrals work? Like the process of getting referrals and a diagnosis, and then into getting support for those students?
So in early childhood, we make referrals to the Ministry of Education, and generally we refer for support for speech, language, and communication, and also learning behaviour. So generally, when we are looking at referral, we're engaging with parents for the very first time that there is something that is atypical about their child. They may not recognise it themselves because, parents don't know. We work with children day in and day out. So what they see in their child, they may just see as that's normal behaviour or normal developmental progression. So we are often having to, break the ice and initiate that their child needs some more support than we can offer them. So we have to tread, very diplomatically because it's really difficult for parents and caregivers to hear that about their child. So we write and to get permission we need parents' permission to get support, so we can't do anything without communicating with the parents and getting written permission from them. So we go through a process of meetings with the parents, sharing what we know about their child, why we think they may need support, and then we write a referral form to the Ministry of Education, and the parent will sign that. So we send that off. The process is not quick, that the wait list is very long, and you will have children waiting up to at least 6 months to actually get seen. And normally for us, they get seen by a speech language therapist first, or an early intervention teacher, EIT. But then to get, a diagnosis, that can take a really long process, and that is often done through either Ministry of Education, but often they go on through the process and the relationship that they have with the SLT, the EIT, if they can see that there is more going on for that child and they need a formal assessment. That will be done through the child development team at Wellington Hospital, and that wait list is nearly up to 12 months. And so it can be a really long process and time frame from a teaching team in early childhood recognising that a child is needing support until that child gets formally assessed. So they may not get formally assessed until they're at nearly school age. So which is a shame, because there is a lot that can be done for that child prior to going to school, and that the earlier that a child is, assessed and diagnosed with autism or global delay, or having a speech and language delay, the earlier that can be picked up and assessed, and strategies put in place with whānau and their teachers, and they get that wraparound support. You can lose quite a bit of time there to make the transition into primary school and more, formal education. Can just make it a bit more trickier.
Do you think that there is a lack of support within ECE to help support children with extra learning needs?
Yes, there is. Yeah, just because of there's not enough early intervention teachers, there's not enough speech language therapists at the moment, and for the centre that I work in, we have quite a large number of children that are needing support, and we have to work within our ratios in our service. So we work for a 1 to 10, one teacher to 10 children, in a 30 licence kindergarten. So for children that are needing support, the teacher aid hours that they get is quite minimal. It may only be like a few hours a day, and we probably wouldn't get any extra support from like a teacher aide or education support worker. It wouldn't be more than 10 hours a week.
What support do you think teachers need from the government, and what do you think needs to change?
It'll be the same for teachers in primary and in the secondary school sectors. What we need is actually more funding for learning support, and actually more teacher aides hours and support in the classrooms and the learning spaces, because we just don't have enough of the people resources to support the needs of all children.
Well, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a perspective from someone who works with neurodivergent students from a young age. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.